Hello, Donna here from Homesteading with the Blind Knitter. I hope you're all well today. It's been a while, it's been a hot minute since I've podcast. I've had a big holiday over in the UK for 3.5 weeks, and then after that I just kind of never got back into the routine, so I thought I'd better do one. I've done a heck of a lot of sewing and knitting, so I thought it would be good to actually do a knitting and sewing one, some FOs and sewing, no FOs and knitting, but FOs and sewing. And so I'm going to start with my knitting and let you know where we're at. We're halfway through winter here, but it's a glorious day. It's a Sunday. Mr. Farmer's been in town to watch the rugby with a mate, so I had the night to myself, which was lovely. So I did a bit of sewing, and I also did 2 great big huge pots of one of butter chicken and one of Thai curry, because Mr. Farmer hates them and I love them. So I did 2 big pots, and I froze those for my lunches and had it for tea last night. So I had tea last night, and I've got 3 or 4 pottles frozen for my lunches. Homestead wise, this morning I went and picked a few weeds out of the garden. There's not a lot going on in there. Cleaned the chook house out. There's a lot going on there, but not a lot of laying. They're a bit cold for them. I think we're only getting 2 eggs out of 10 chooks, so it's a bit slack on it. So just pottering around. Winter, we had the shortest day a couple of days ago, which we call Matariki, which is our Māori New Year. And so we're hopefully on the days should start getting a bit longer now, but this does tend to be when the weather turns to poo. So I'm hoping that I can get lots of knitting done in that time, now that everything I know outside is all sorted. So the washing's hung out, I've got frozen meals in, I've done all the things I need to do. So I can sew and knit to my heart content, which is great. So I have 4 dresses that I've finished sewing that I'm going to show you. And I've got quite a few things cut out ready to go, some whips. And knitting wise, well, I was going to talk about mental health, because winter's a really tricky time, isn't it, when people tend to get SAD, seasonal affective disorder, where you start feeling very low over the seasons, with the darker seasons, etc. It's a very real disease, or disorder I should say, not a disease. But stress itself is also one of the things that happens during winter, particularly things like you get huge power bills, and you've got to worry about firewood, and you've got a whole lot more washing and all those sorts of things. So I thought what I would talk about is a study that happened when we had our Christchurch earthquakes. I think that was some years ago now, maybe 11 years ago, I'm thinking. So when they happened, psychologists wanted to learn from it, and they wanted to learn about resilience. And so what they did is they did a mega study of people who had been through the earthquakes, and then 1 year later questioned them again with the focus on resilience and recovery. And they got the expected things from the study. For example, breathing exercises are really good for us, and all the things that we know, breathing exercises, exercise, fresh air, going for a little walk, all of those sort of good food, good sleep, all of those came out as natural things we know. But one of the things that came out of the study that was really quite a surprise was that the people that were taking a combination of Berocca, which I'm not sure, in New Zealand we have this effervescent drink, which is a vitamin C drink called Berocca, and vitamin B complex. So when you're taking vitamin C and vitamin B complex together, your recovery and resilience is stronger. And it was something that came out of that study that they never anticipated. So I've always taken vitamin C and vitamin B complex when I'm feeling low or stressed, particularly before the pre-winter, or just in this part when winter starts getting to the sort of stage when we're starting to feel a bit pressured by winter. And so I thought I would make a reminder. Oh, I didn't bring my Barocca, did I? No. Just sort of encourage you to grab some vitamin B complex and some Barocca and have them together over this winter period. And if your body doesn't need them, it's going to flush it out. If it does need it, it's going to, you know, really absorb it and enjoy it. So vitamin B complex is good for your nervous system. So very good for supporting your nervous system, but also it does, vitamin B1, particularly thiamine, is very good for your myelination. And I've talked about myelination before on my podcast. It's the plastic coating that develops over our connections between our neurons, and we need that to be nice and strong with it to have good, you know, messages shooting through our brain. Vitamin B1 is also very good for supporting people that have fibromyalgia and menstrual issues as well. So there's a double whammy. Now, vitamin C is for our immune system. So it's really good for supporting us around winter when we start getting colds, etc. So the combination of vitamin C and vitamin B complex together in this mega study that I have read it, it was a 42-page study, has proven that it's really good for resilience and recovery. So I just thought I'd remind you, this time of the year over in the UK, you're in the middle of summer, so you're getting lots of lovely sun, and I've just come back from 3.5 weeks over there, and 27 degrees in London. It was that hot, we were sweltering, and that was in the spring, so I don't know what your summer's going to be like. But yes, yeah, so over there you're in your summer, but over here we're in the midst, right in starting to get into the deep winter. So there we go. There's a little, just a reminder to take care of yourself around that time. So knitting. What have I been doing? I have a competition to talk about that I am part of supporting. So there are 9 podcasters in New Zealand who are running a MCAL for a Kiwi Cal. It's so purely anything knitted from either from New Zealand yarn and a New Zealand pattern. So you can either do both, knit something that is a New Zealand yarn with a New Zealand pattern, or you can do one or t'other, so New Zealand yarn or a New Zealand pattern. And so we're doing a competition, and there are prizes at the end, and us 9 podcasters are putting in for these prizes, so that's something to look forward to. Now the competition runs from, it started in June. I've only, as I said, I've just been a bit late with this, so I'm hoping you've heard about it before, but you've still got 2 months, so it finishes in the end of August, 31st of August, so you've got 2 months to knit yourself something out that's specifically Kiwi, so New Zealand fibre, New Zealand pattern, and into the competition. So you can look on our Facebook, our Instagram and Facebook pages, that's 9 podcasters. I will put a poster at the end of this podcast with more information on it for you. So hashtag KiwiCow 2025, and yeah, look forward to seeing some of what you've created. And I'm going to start mine very soon. I have got what I'm going to knit right in front of me, and I will show you that. I'll show you that right now, actually. So I wanted to knit something from a yarn, a Kiwi yarn, and I have a knitting group, and one of the lovely ladies there, Rosemary, comes to our knitting group, and she has a wool dyeing business called Spud, S-P-U-D, and it is natural yarn wool dyeing. So she dyes fibres from natural yarns like avocado and all of those sort of really interesting things. Now, I brought quite some time ago to do the Stephen West knit along shawl, one of her beautiful fibres that was dyed with madder, M-A-D-D-E-R. It's a natural fibre, a natural plant that has and she has dyed these 4 colours for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I was going to knit Stephen West's shawl, but I never got it. It was the one that had the dilemma about how it looked in the middle when it was made, and yeah, poor Stephen was in the midst of all of this. So I started it and I never finished it. I kind of lost my mojo for it. So I thought, well, what's the perfect thing to do using my friend's Kiwi yarn, Kiwi dyed yarn, dyed with Kiwi madder, and yeah, it's really pretty. They're my colours. So I'm going to make a cardigan with this, but I wondered how to put them all together so that what I want to do is sort of fade them, so from darkest to lightest, sort of ombre. And I thought what I need is something to bring them all together so that they look cohesive. And I contacted Rosemary and I said, you know, what do you do mohair? And she said yes. I said, could you dye me some mohair in the madder to match this? And so she has, God bless her. And so this is the first time I've put it all together. So here we go. This is the mohair dyed with the madder. I don't know how well that's showing. It's kind of a burnt red, I suppose. So and I think it's going to look fabulous with these all dyed together. So I'm going to start that very soon. That means I'll be it's a 4-ply mohair and a 4-ply yarn. So I'm going to knit a DK. I'm still debating my patterns because the one I want to knit is not a Kiwi pattern. And so I'm debating. But there is another one that is a Kiwi pattern that I quite like the idea of. So I will let you know how I'm going on that one. But I encourage you to do a Kiwi knit for this competition. As I say, 9 Kiwi podcasters representing and giving prizes. So, and this is living in my Liberty bag from Liberty Prints in London. Isn't that pretty? You can see the pattern. So Liberty Prints is right in London. It's the most beautiful building. It was built in 1898 or 96, I think. It's kind of a Tudor style. So it was worth going just to see this stunning building. And I brought a wee bit of fabric, which I will show you in my sewing part, but I also brought a Liberty bag. So yeah, that's really beautiful cottons and really pretty print. So that is going to be my competition entry, and I hope you enter as well. So that's what I'm going to start knitting on soon. But what I have been working on, and it can't enter the competition, although I am using Kiwi yarn, I am crocheting a granny square, what's it called, cardigan, and I'm using Eden, which is a New Zealand wool, pure, Eden spun. There, it's like butter. It's the most beautiful wool. In fact, what it's done is crocheted up like velvet. And so I have shown you this before on my podcast. So this is it's a 6-point granny square, and I'm going to make a cardigan out of it. So it's actually coming along. It's almost ready for me to sew together. So I've done 2 sides. I'm doing them in, where is the other one? Oh, sorry for popping my head down there. There's the other side there. So I have done 2 sides. It's so yummy. And I'm really quite looking forward to it. I think it'll look cool with a pair of jeans and a white t-shirt or something. Yeah. One of the things that my friend Vicky and I noticed when we were over in the UK was lots and lots of crochet jackets. So I'm avant-garde. So that's what I've been working on, and I'm nearly finished. I want to finish it quite quickly, so I'm going to start my competition one, but also try and hammer that out as well. The other thing I've been knitting on is one that I've been pottering along with for quite some time. This is also a New Zealand yarn, and I can't even tell you who I got it from because I brought it, I think it was Sue. Anyway, I can't remember. And it's a t-shirt, summer t-shirt with lace panels. Now I'm going to sort of put this on hold for a little while because obviously it's for summer, but also I want to concentrate on these 2 as well. So I'm actually really enjoying that. That's a beautiful wool as well. It's mohair silk, and I will, before I talk about it again, I'll find the dyer and bring that to you. But I can't enter the competition with that because I started it before the competition started. Needles everywhere. I tell you, I'm just lots and lots. So that's what I've been knitting, well, crocheting really. I've been crocheting regularly on my crocheted cardigan that I'm hopefully going to finish soon. I'm going to do a couple more rounds around it, sew it together, and then I think I'll have to add some to the sleeve. I don't want a big jacket. I want just a nice sort of fitted cardigan to put over things. And I know that I've said that crocheting, even big crochet jackets were the fashion over in the UK, and I mean what tends to happen is what's on fashion there now comes to us in sort of a year to 18 months. So be prepared, get your crocheting skills out. I'm crocheting that on a 4 crochet hook there, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I do find crocheting very meditative and rhythmic and relaxing, so it's also quite quick, grows quickly, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I haven't done a crochet garment for years and years and years. Yeah, so that I'm hoping will be an FO next time, and certainly will have started my cardigan. It's definitely going to be a cardigan faded with mohair, made out of pure wool, dyed with madder, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that, merino. Anyway, I'm going to stop here, and I'm now going to take you to my sewing room, or I might take you this afternoon to my sewing room, and I'm going to show you what I've been sewing there, because I've been very busy with my sewing, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that. So I'll take you to that, and I'll show you that next. I'm back. You're in my sewing room. So yeah, I just thought I'd talk a bit about what I've been sewing, and there's been a lot. But I did want to say what a fabulous holiday I'd had. So it's one of those things that I have met a friend through my knitting, Vicky, and her and I have the same interests. We love to travel. We both have partners who don't love to travel, and so yeah, it's been wonderful meeting all of my knitting friends, new knitting friends. But Vicky and I have really done we did a cruise around New Zealand, and now we've done this big UK one, which was 3.5 weeks, and we did Spain, mostly Spain, Barcelona, Mallorca, La Coruña, and I can't remember what the other town was now. And then we did one day in France. We did the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and then a day in Italy, and yeah, and 4 days in London. So we had a beautiful time. So as I said, we went to Liberty Prints. I'll show you some fabric I bought from Liberty while I was there. I couldn't walk out without anything, although I gotta say I wasn't like wowed by the fabric, but I suppose it was summer then, and it's like, oh, summer, all these lovely prints, but we're going back to winter. But I wasn't wowed by their fabrics, but I was wowed by the beauty of this beautiful old building, and just floors and floors of just stunning, lots of beautiful wood. And it was built in the 18s, as I said, 1896 or something, and it just a beautiful building. So that was beautiful. We had a cup of tea there and did a bit of shopping. So what have I been sewing? Let's see. The first thing I made was, I just wanted to get back into sewing quickly with something nice and easy. And I was at work recently, and a lady that I know had a beautiful top on. I said to her, oh, love your top. Can you pop it in and I can cut a pattern off it? So she did, God bless her. So I cut a pattern off it, and I made one of it. Now it's a grown out sleeve, and it had elastic in the sleeve with a little bow on each side, and I didn't line it, I didn't face it, I just sewed over the hem and the other side. So it's a really pretty little thing. It's an A-line, so it's quite but it's also very short. I just had a piece of scrap material. It's actually quite cute, lovely pure cotton, but with a little slub on it. Really cute. it fits. I've worn it too short, and a little bit sort of prissy. I think I'm too old, and so granddaughter's going to get that. She's much shorter than I am, and she doesn't mind her belly showing. So that was just a nice little quick, easy little sew with a scrap piece of material. So that's going to go to my granddaughter. Then I brought, and I think I've showed you the quilt. I brought a quilt from the op shop for $5, just a bedroom quilt, and I want to make myself a quilted jacket. By the way, they were all over there as well. Everywhere they were over there as well. So quilted jackets are definitely going to be the thing. And I want to make myself one, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time quilting something if it didn't fit. So I wanted to make, they call it a twirl. I've never really called them a twirl. It's just, I wanted to make one first to see how it went. So I brought this $5 quilt, which was pre-quilted, and I made a jacket. So, and I thought what I wanted was a quilted jacket with long sleeves and a mandarin collar. Many years ago, I made myself one out of some black Asian material with oriental little gold twirly, what do you call those? Toggles there, and little mandarin. And I absolutely loved my black Asian inspired quilted jacket that I made many years ago, and so I thought, I'll try and make one similar to that. And so I cut out, I got a pattern, and I thought I want something shorter, sort of not short as in same problem as that t-shirt, as that top I've made. I want to make something sort of just touching my bum, I suppose, you know, just below my hips, but not quite any further. But the pattern was quite long and had shape, and it was quite long. I thought, oh, I've got so much material, just make the long one and see how it goes. You can always cut it off. And it was only a trial, so if it's a failure, it's a failure. Anyway, I've made this quilted jacket out of a bedroom quilt for $5, and I love it. Love it. It's very long. I'll put some photos in at the end of this podcast of me wearing them. It's too hard to stand up and do it here, and I don't have the skill to add it. So it's got a mandarin collar. So if you can see the mandarin collar there, it's nicely shaped. So it's got a nice bottle shape out, and it's got a bottom like that. Oh, can you see that? Yes, there we go. Anyway, I'll show the photo. I hope you're not sitting in your bedroom watching this with your quilt out of this, thinking, oh, she's made a jacket out of my quilt. Anyway, I absolutely love it. I took it to London. I've been wearing it and really enjoying it. So not bad for a $5 quilt. So there's something you can do that's not going to cost you a huge amount of money, is go and check out quilts at op shops and make yourself a pattern. I can't tell you what the number of the pattern was. Not very organised, am I? No, I haven't got the pattern there. It was one of the big four, and I'm pretty sure it's a Simplicity, but yeah, I'll show you a picture of me wearing it at the end. So that was my one. Now I then went to, I got some material delivered from Spotlight. They had a sale on. So Spotlight is one of our big mega crafting everything sort of places, Manchester, haberdashery crafting places in Wellington. So it's an hour and a half away, but they deliver. So I ordered some materials from them, and I got a pattern called Fit and Flare by Pattern Emporium, and I just love the style of dress. I've actually got a dress in that style that was my mother's, and my mum's been passed over for 14 years now, and it was hers, and I just love this dress, and it's definitely a fit and flare, so it's nice and fitting there, and then it flares out into a beautiful sort of semicircle, very flowing dress. simple t-shirt style, and I love it. So I thought, right, I'm going to make myself one of those fit and flares. I went to Evans's, which is our fabric shop here, and it had some this material here. Now it was quite expensive, I admit. And I brought 4 meters because I am an albatross, as I've said many times. I'm 6 foot with big arm span. So I got 4 meters, and it was, I think it was nearly $40 a meter, but it's a pure merino. And I made a fit and flare, a beautiful red fit and flare. So it's just a simple t-shirt top with long sleeves, and it fits just like a t-shirt. And then there's this beautiful flared skirt. So I love it. It's so comfortable to wear, and being merino, it keeps me cool, keeps me warm, whatever my temperature needs to be. I wore it on our flight over, and I found it great in the plane because it breathed, it was comfortable. I felt nice though. When I got out, I still felt nice. And I'll put photos again in the back at the end. So loved this, and I thought, right, I'm going to make another one. So I had some material that I had delivered from Spotlight, and I think I showed you this actually, because I cut it out and then I cocked up and had to go and order more. Can't remember why. Anyway, Spotties. This is a beautiful, it's weighty, but not in a horrible way. It's weighty in that it falls nicely. So this is the fit and flare again. So simple t-shirt pattern. I made the band a little bit wider at the top, just for a little something different. And I made short sleeves because I knew we were going over to London into summer, or spring summer. And again, the fit and flare. And because this is quite a weighty, just lovely fabric, it just falls beautifully. So super loved that, was really happy with that, and went on my holiday with those two. And by the way, on my holiday I wore Me Made most of the time. I brought a dress when I was there, which is a summer dress. I'm not going to wear that now, but 90% of the stuff I wore was Me Made that I took over, so I was quite chuffed at that. When I got back, I Spotlight had a big sale on 70%. Oh God. So I thought, right, go to Spotlight, 70%, what, just have a day out. So I decided to have a day out. I caught the train in. I caught the 7 o'clock train in to Wellington. So as I said, it's about an hour and a half. And I love the train trip, put your earbuds on, listen to a book, watch a podcast, do some knitting. I took my knitting. I took my little orange knitting that I showed you previously, because that's nice, small, easy to knit. So I did that and went to Spotlight, and the sale, they had just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of fabric that was on sale. And it was, so for example, something that was normally around $18 a meter was down to $6 a meter, and they were ender bolts. So if there was 4 meters on the bolt and you brought all 4 meters, not only did you get it at $6 a meter, but you got 40% off. It was just nonsensical to not buy, I'll show you the bag. Hang on a minute. I was walking, so I had to lug that around. Got a little carried away, but hey ho. I only spent $200, but I bought enough to make 5 dresses, 4 sweatshirts, and 3 or 4 t-shirts. $200. That is a bargain. I can't say I need more clothes, but what the heck? I'm going to do it. So I'll show you that fabric, but because I loved that fit and flare so much, yeah, you betcha, I've made more. So I've made 2 more. I was going to make something totally different, and I thought, well, you absolutely love wearing it. It suits you, it's comfortable, and why not? So I made, and I fell in love with this material. Oh, I brought 7 meters of it because I fell in love with it so much that I thought, right, I'm going to make a dress, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, and hopefully a singlet out of it. Because look, that, I mean, that is, I'm assuming you can see, that is me. That is me to a T. So I have made a fit and flare, but of course it's winter, so I've made it long sleeved there, and with the band on the top, and the fit and flare. So it's a elastane cotton, so it is stretchy and it is quite heavy, so it'll be quite good for winter. But oh, that fabric, you know how some fabrics just make you go, oh yeah, that's, well, this is it for me, that one. So I made that one out of my 7 meters. And then I thought, right, I'm just going to make another one. And so I had this material, which again is very me, really pretty, with little sort of rosebuds and etc. Long sleeved again, and the band again, and bit of flare. So maybe it's boring, but I now have 4 fit and flares, or 5 because I had one that was a bought one, pre-bought one. So I'm going to really enjoy wearing those because they make me feel nice. I feel feminine in them, but I'm warm and I'm super comfortable. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to those. So those are my makes, and so the fabrics that I've brought that I'm going to make up soon. Now this, I brought this at Liberty Prints in London, so because I couldn't walk out of there without bringing a piece of Liberty home. And as I said, did struggle to find something I really liked, but this was really pretty. It's a cotton lawn, and I brought 2 meters, and or did I buy 1.5 meters? I've forgotten now. But enough for a blouse. So that's going to be a summer blouse. I'm thinking something with puff sleeves, a nice little sort of lined or facing net line. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to make a blouse out of that. So that's from that was my purchase from Liberty Prints. Let me see, it's fingers to nose, is it 1 meter? Yep, so I brought 2 meters. So yeah, that'll make quite a nice long sleeved puff sleeve blouse. It's too fine for a dress, just too soft. It'll definitely a blouse, and I can't even tell you how much it cost me, but I nearly fell over with the prices at Liberty, to be honest, and it was in pounds. I think some of them were like, well, there was a beautiful cotton silk that was £113 a metre. I think that was around £39 or £40 a metre, which is a lot of money and a real treat. So I do hope that I make something I like with that. So that's what I brought from Liberty. Now, what else I brought from Spotlight, I have 2 t-shirts cut out ready to sew today. So the first one is this nice cotton elastane, and it's going to be a short, I think I've shown you, I cut out a pattern of a t-shirt that I've made that I love. So I made a black and white zebra print t-shirt, and it's really comfortable, it's a good size, and so I cut out a pattern and I've written on it perfect t-shirt zebra print so that I know that that's the one I like. So I've cut that out, it's ready to make a t-shirt, and it's going to be short sleeve because it was the end of, it was $6 a metre and there was only just over a metre left. And so when I said, oh, well, I'll buy what's left, I got 40% off that. So I think I got it for about $4. That's the sleeve, and so the sleeve and the cuffs and the band are all cut out, but it's going to be quite a short sleeve because it didn't have a lot of material. But yeah, that'll be maybe just around the home t-shirt. And my material that I absolutely adore, I have cut out. Now this is called Rain, R-E-I-N-E, and it is by Styler Patterns, and it is a simple t-shirt with a bit of extra. So the extra is quite this front, it's a raglan sleeve. I can't show you a picture, I'm sorry, you'll have to wait till it's finished because I'm terrible at that with being blind. Just have to forgive me. So it's a raglan sleeve, but on the back it's an ordinary raglan, but on the front it's really gathered in along this bit here. So it'll give you sort of this really full gathered bit of sleeve here. So just for a little something something on the shoulders, and the rest of it is very simple. So I've got that cut out in my favourite fabric. And when I cut this out, I thought, I wonder how much I've got left. I've still got 2 meters left. So I've got enough to make either a long t-shirt, or I don't know what I'll make, but the material just does it for me. It's just one of those. Yeah. So that's that. What else did I buy? I bought, this is a piece of cotton. It's a heavier cotton from Spotlight, and so I'm going to make a winter dress out of that. Similar style to a fit and flare, but I'm going to do it with the bodice and the long puffed sleeve and a fuller skirt. So that's going to be and I brought 3 meters of that, and it was something like $6 or $8 a meter, and I brought the ender bolt, so I got that for something dead cheap. Now this wasn't in the sale, but a friend of mine, Sandy, has been making pinafores, and they've just looked gorgeous, and so I've decided to make myself a pinafore out of this. And I'm going to use the Pattern Emporium. No, is it Pattern Emporium? No, Style Arc, I think. It's called York, anyway. And so I'm going to get that pattern and make myself a pinafore, because now that I've seen Sandy wearing hers so much and looking so lovely, I really, appreciate it. I want one, mummy. This is another heavy cotton fabric for another winter dress. Again, I think I brought 3 meters, 3.5 meters. Again, it was on sale. They're just me. These fabrics, these big floral pretty fabrics are just me. Now this is not a big floral, so this was just an ender bolt, 1.5 meters, and I think I got it for about $6. And so I'm just going to make it's an elastane. It's a stretch, so I'm going to make a long sleeved t-shirt for around the house probably, or weekends. What else have I got in here? I think that's it. It's probably enough. Yeah, so I did have a bit of a spendy. So like I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dresses, 4 sweatshirts, and probably quite a few t-shirts. And I'm going to keep all the leftover bits and make t-shirts for summer for around the house with the floral at the top and plain at the bottom. I'm loving sewing at the moment, really, really loving it, getting into it so much. I've bought a new overlocker, so that helps. I do still have my old overlocker, which is a glow block. That runs, I mean, they're just like tanks. They just go and go and go and go and go. So I'm going to go and get that serviced, because it needs a service. It hasn't had one for a long, long time. And I thought I could have one with black on and one with white, because this one's a self-threading, little bit special to buy, but with my blindness, it's almost a necessity. So Mr. Farmer has learned how to thread the needles, because I can't thread the needles, and he's very good at coming in and threading the needles, but the other ones just puff air through and puff the thread through. Yeah, while I'm still working, I can do that. So yeah, so that's been my sewing and my knitting. I don't know whether 4 dresses in the same pattern as OTT, but that's what I've done. What else have I done in the homesteading part? There was a whole lot of potatoes being given away, so I brought a whole lot of those home and meshed them and froze them. So if you mesh them without butter and milk, and they just mesh up beautifully, and then you freeze them in bags, and then you can make fish cakes or bubble and squeak, or just have them for mashed potatoes. So I've got mashed potatoes frozen, and that's sitting next to my roast potatoes, which I've already done. So that was that. Last time we spoke, I did those pizzas with my grandies, and so I've got those. I've got the meals that I froze last night. I really want to make my toaster sandwiches, so I've brought the white bread. So I've got that, and I want to make my toasters. But Mr. Farmer put it in the freezer, and I was going to do them this weekend, but I'm going to have to do them from frozen because I don't want to refreeze them. So I have to make sure I'm prepared. And I didn't have any ham, and you've got to have ham in a toaster sandwich, right? Tomato, onion, cheese, and ham. Yeah. That's my preferred, although I do quite like the mix of cream corn, spaghetti and cheese and onion. Ooh. Anyway, I just love, that was from another podcast, A Farmer's Wife. Thank you, Stacey, for that, because I just love having those frozen toasted sandwiches. That was brilliant, and I will keep doing that. I still prep my veggies. Absolutely love prepping my veggies and having them pre-prepped for the week. Yeah, I have my friend's cows have dried up, so there's no milk at the moment, but we're hoping that she's off to the UK herself for a holiday. It must be about now, so we're hoping that she'll come back and we can start. She'll have to have some calves and then get some more milk, and yeah, and we can start that again. So I'm missing those things like my kefir and stuff, but hey ho, that's what happens. It's seasonal. Homesteading is seasonal, you know. Winter, you're doing your knitting and you're freezing stuff so that you've got plenty of food in the freezer. Summer, you're doing your veggie gardens, and yeah, it's just seasonal. That's the way it runs. Anyway, I've really enjoyed talking to you. Please do the knitting competition. I have to work out my prize. I have to find out what I'm going to add as a prize. And yeah, I'll chat to you next time. Bye for now.